Buddy, good morning. David, good morning. Amy TB, I don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. Channel member Sergio, Michael, Gregory, channel member Arturo, Eric, Mark, channel member Nikki, channel member Ed, channel member Rex, good to see you. Opal, Rizio, channel member Darren, channel member Donald, Larry, Rob, Dan, Svenborn, Goose, Lieutenant Colonel, good to see you. Hope you had a great Veterans Day. And welcome to the stream, everybody. Yesterday was a crazy, crazy, crazy day in the crypto market. Holy guacamole. Beautiful up day. All sorts of stuff, rocking and rolling. We saw, I had a, now I didn't book I booked a couple things, but I didn't book very much. But net open gain across my family accounts over six figures. Just amazing, just amazing. And the brokerage accounts by themselves was over $95,000, and then add the crypto accounts, and it pushed it up over $100,000 yesterday. Net open gain. I booked very few things. Gonna ride this pullback that we're having right now. I kind of warned my insider group that it's highly unlikely we get two large up days in a row in crypto. It's just like psychologically low probability for that to occur. Why? We're humans, man. We see big up numbers, and we weren't the only ones with big up numbers. There were big up numbers, and lots of members booked those kind, or had those kind of big up numbers. Gosh, I saw all sorts of numbers. Lots of people in the low five figures, mid five figures, high five figures. Whole set of you in the VIP group were in the six-figure club. One member broke $1 million in their account for the first time yesterday, and it was very humbling. I was very proud. You can ask Kimberly if you don't believe me. I was just on cloud nine all evening. Just, it wasn't because of what I did. It was because of what I helped you do, and I was just like so happy. I was telling everybody. I was sharing screenshots. It was some people were like, yeah, actually the president of the company, he messaged me. He goes, "Wow, you that's some wild trades you were putting out there." Or let's see. Let me go read what he actually said instead of just speculating. Let me pull it up, and he was like, "No," he said, "really strong trades, Jeffrey." And I was like, well, my reply literally was, "Sometimes I get lucky." And I said, "Thank you." His reply was, "I think it's more than that." And I appreciate everybody being with me, the grind to get here. I don't think we're done yet on the upside. I do think we're gonna get a pullback. It's inevitable, right? It's just kind of the way the market works. We don't ever go one direction to infinity and beyond. And my monster, check that color out. It's an interesting one. Kimberly got that for me. It's a brand new flavor, Ultra Vice Guava. It's like hot pink and I'd say teal. It's kind of it's not really green, but I guess it's picking up the green screen. It's teal, I guess. Interesting. Is it kind of like dried cranberry mixed with the red flavor? I don't even know what the red flavor is. I was trying to look see if I had a can sitting around here. Anyway, welcome everybody, and very humbling. And I just some of the successes yesterday. Like one member who came to my in-person coaching event back in June. Yeah, this is for my insider group. She came, she sat up front with me, and we discussed through it. She was like, "I really want to have a six-figure day. You guys talk about them, and many of you have had them, and blah blah blah. I just want to have one." I was like, "Well, if you want to have one, well, you can get there." And she was very skeptical, And I was like, you have to believe you can do it. And then yesterday she had her 6-figure day in one day. And it was just, it made me really, really proud. Like that was, it's kind of the highlight. Her, wanting a 6-figure day and then getting it. And she can admit who she is if she wants to, if she's on here. But, yeah, it's powerful stuff. And you can bring your own reality. And Sledge, is kind of a business coach, and he coaches this, that you have to have the mindset that you're going to succeed. That's like the core. Like if you sit here and you come to the thing and you're like, well, that's great that everybody did these things, but I'm not going to do it, or I've got a long way to go. That you've already got the wrong mindset to be successful in this game. You've got to have the mindset that I am going to do it. And you got to tell yourself that. And I believe in the power of affirmations and writing them down and, meditating on it and that sort of thing. It's kind of the unspoken part, but I do talk about it in the background and in my Termite Trading Lab group, which is the VIP group. You've got to have the right mindset, the winner mindset. You've got to tell yourself, don't talk bad about your trades. If you talk bad about the trades, if you're like, well, this trade's a piece of crap because I got into it, you've already got the wrong mindset. All right. 1, why are you in the trade? 2, you bring what you expect. I mean, you bring from the world what you expect to get. If you expect to take a loss, you're probably going to take a loss. You're probably going to close it at the wrong time. You're probably going to, if you have that attitude that you're not going to do as awesome as other people, you're not. All right. If you have the attitude that you can be among the best traders in the world, you can do it. All right. Think about it. 99% of the people that try this stuff that we're doing here fail out. They lose. It's tough. It's a tough game. You gotta have the mental capacity to stay in the game. Goose there, he's incredible year this year. He was bragging he had his first 6-figure week. And he wasn't a 6-figure day yesterday, but he had a 6-figure week, doing really good. I'm proud of him. Like he's turned it around. 2 years ago, he was really bummed out, and he had lost a lot of money in a short amount of time. A lot of money. I mean, he can admit to it. It was well into the 6 figures. And hey, Jody, we were just talking about you. Talking about you and Goose and Laura, Nikki. I mean, just sharing everybody here. Sledge. I mean, just everybody's story here today. It's I was really proud of everybody. So, and in the background, I appreciate how everybody coaches each other, and I just wanted to speak to it all. That we had a nice day yesterday, and I don't think it's the last one. I think this is just getting going. We have much loftier targets on Bitcoin. We're right at the breakout time period. As Sledge was saying in the background yesterday, he didn't make this public comment, but he was like, JT, you pretty much told us that Bitcoin was going to break out on this time frame. And I didn't just do it here, coming into the election. I actually had this whole time frame all the way back over here, if y'all remember. And for some of you that have been listening to me, I had this kind of time frame back here that we'd probably see some sort of something around halving, then we'd pull back or consolidate, possibly as deep as this area, before we rock and roll. And here we are, rocking and rolling. Awesome, Jason. Awesome. I'm proud of everybody. No matter if you had a 4-figure day, a 3-figure day, 2-figure day, we all start where we are. Not everybody has the resources to have 6 figures invested in the market to be able to pull a 6-figure day. Not everybody has the resources to have a 4-figure day. All right. It's really about percent gain for you and how you feel about it. And if you're like looking at other people and you're like, dang, man, I wish. Let's look at your account. How did you do? Was it your best day ever? Several people told me it was their best day ever. All right. Best day ever. That's all you can do is have your best day ever. Then let's do it again. Let's have another best day ever. Let's have another best day ever. My best day ever right now, $845,000. That wasn't yesterday. I'm going to have $1 million day. I'm going to have $1 million day. I just know I am. It's about putting myself in the right place at the right time. Today's not that day, I'm sure. But soon, I'll have $1 million day. Y'all watch me make $1 million in one day. It's I'm sure it's gonna happen. All right. That's what you do. You start here and you keep going. Keep going. Keep going. How do you one up where you've been? You got to have the positive mindset. So, and that's not the first time I've said I'm going to have $1 million day. Lots of you in the background have heard me say that. So, you've right place, right time, paying attention to the right stuff. And this is kind of how I trade. You know, we grind a lot, and then we have one awesome day that's more gains than the average person makes in a whole year. And my man Dave, who writes a lot of my sales pitches and stuff like that in the background, he was like, I like this style trading. He's like, you get in when everybody else is like, oh my gosh, and complaining, and then you just wait and wait and wait. He's like, and then the day comes where you just made more money in a day than most people make in a year. And he's like, that's my kind of trading. He's like, and you just sit and watch. You don't do much. So it's it's a different game than a lot of people. A lot of people are like, I gotta make a trade today, and that's just not my style. I just like to wait for the trades. As I kind of say sometimes, I'm a retired trader waiting for the best of the best setups. That's a difficult concept for a lot of people. It's hard for a lot of people to think about. Like, you don't have to trade. You don't have to be in a bunch of stuff. In fact, even I had that giant update yesterday, and I'm sitting on tens of thousands of, like, I'd say my accounts are like 60% cash, maybe even more than that in some cases, and still had giant updates because I've been booking out everything that was leveraged. Like, I was playing with fire. I was playing options on some leveraged instruments, especially like the indexes and stuff like that. I had options on Tesla leverage, and the last week I've been booking them out like crazy. Every time something gets near my target. So yeah, I showed you the aggressive entry for Tesla, and as Goose says, I mean, look at that. I mean, look at that. We exceeded the target yesterday, right to 350. Anybody that was doubtful we were going to 350. I mean, oh, it's all the election. How long did I talk about 350? How long have I been talking about it? A long time. Well, since over here. It took a while to get there. Time is the hardest part of this whole thing. What's the next one? We're probably going to consolidate for a while. Could be a couple months. Could be a couple days. Could be a couple hours. Probably coming up here. We get up here. Odds are we're going to do a larger correction here. But look at this. Look at this right here. Put things in a different perspective for you. See that low right there? See that high right there? That low right there? This is a weekly chart, all right? Everybody see what that is? If you're new here, that's a measured bounce. This low occurred in 2022. End of 2022, beginning of 2023. That right there is only a 3-wave. Not great. That's very overlappy. Not great. 3 waves so far. So maybe this is just a correction. All right, maybe. Maybe it's something bigger starting here. So far, not great, but just the minimum. Just the minimum. If this is a measured bounce, 410, 540. Now, if it's not log scale, we might be topping out for a little bit. Could it go lower low? It's possible. Log scale looks a lot better. 540. And if we turn bullish, 792. Could we find some resistance here? Yep. Pop up here? Yep. Retrace? Yep. That's possible. Is it possible to turn down from here and come all the way back down? Yep. Everything's possible at the moment. All right. High probability. We're going on up to this zone. Higher probability than 50-50. We could stall out. It could come up near all-time high and stop. Good. It's the way this goes. All right. Just make your best guess and get you in the right spot. But we had that measured bounce. We had that measured bounce. So it's a big measured bounce, smaller measured bounce. And when you start doing the math here, that one should take us on up in here. And we should get a 4-5. And it looks like we could go up in the higher 500 to 700 area. Because we're not going to just end on a 3-wave here. Probably going to push it up and do a 4-5 and top it out. Now I could do the 4-5 from here. We'll see. That's what we have to watch for at this point. All right. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. So don't buy stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. There is a substantial risk of loss involved in all trading. If you desire somebody to just tell you what to do, just tell me what to buy so I can have that 6-figure day, you're going to have to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. I'm sorry. Just not what I do. And as I said on the thumbnail, check this out. Our subprime consumer is experiencing extreme stress right now. We're seeing these people below $50,000 in income a year, they're cutting back spending. All right. That's... So you think about it a little bit, and you're like, well, you know, that can't be a lot of people. That is a lot of people. All right. There's a lot of people here. That's okay. But look at the top end too. They're not increasing spending all that much. Doesn't take much to flip this back to negative. So this is what I was talking about. This showing signs of cracking. We were recovering on that less than 25,000. Now it's plummeting out. Still got a little recovery going on the 25 to 50, but is it going to bounce down similarly? Now, coming into January this year, we had a lot of people pulling back. Coming into July, into that August period, look at that 200,000 group. They were kind of running scared here coming into July. Pulling it back. So something to keep an eye on, consumer spending. That's why like retail sales and stuff like that, those are important numbers that we get each month. Just kind of read the tea leaves. It's not like you react. You just got to read the tea leaves and see what the trends are. That's why I keep track of all these things. That's why you come. It's like subscribe. Keep following. Here's the deal. Keep coming back. We'll go through it. And so today, 5 p.m. Eastern, we have 30 minutes of awesome. The only time of the week where I do a request show. I will come and be live at 5 p.m. and take requests for at least 30 minutes. That's why we call it 30 minutes of awesome. And it'll probably be more like an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But it does require you to show up. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell with the notifications. Make sure you set an alarm in your phone to come show up and participate. If you don't participate, it's kind of a boring show because it's all about you, that show. This one right here, I'm just chit-chatting. We're going through the market, trying to look for what to pay attention to today. Got some FOMC members speaking. Tomorrow, though, we have the CPI numbers coming out. Are they going to tell the truth? Are they just going to keep at it? Pitter-patter, let's keep at her. I don't know. I think inflation could come ripping back. We're seeing food prices put upward pressure on PCE, and CPI is just a different balance of a similar set of numbers. So we may see that food prices rising create more pressure. I'm seeing a lot of articles about fast food prices continuing to rise and put upward pressure, even though they're creating some dollar menu. They're bringing back the value menus to try to hook in those subprime customers, basically. And honestly, they hook in JT a lot with the value menu. PPI coming out on Thursday. And on Friday, we get that core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing right there, 8:30 before. These are all before the market opens. So we could have some volatile days coming up. Now, PPI, not usually a volatility bringer, although it can be. CPI usually brings a little volatility. Now, volatility can be up and it can be down. Like usually, if volatility is up, the VIX doesn't respond. But if volatility is down, the VIX responds. So it's kind of like VIX is a negative volatility indicator. Not just a volatility indicator. It's historically, it was the volatility index, but it doesn't tend to respond when we get positive volatility. If you think about it, we tend to drop it out. So now that we're through most of the big crazy events of the year, we have one FOMC left. That VIX may finally start taming. And we're seeing that, look at that big drop off. We're back at the low kind of that we've had since we got the spike in August. We're back at the lows. If we start breaking below that, maybe able to come back down into the 12 area. Now, what that does, though, is it sets us up for another volatility event. Like the big pullback in August. We're probably going to see something in the future. We churn it back off, and then we get another spike. What's the next spike? I don't know. Something's going to happen. Something out here. We may come back down to rest for a little bit before that happens. All right. S&P. We're open finally. Grinding higher at 6,049 area. Next fib line up. Right there. And like I said, our S5TW, stocks above the 20-day, we still have upside room. Stocks above the 50-day, we still have upside room. Stocks above the 200-day, we still have upside room. These are all indicating that we still have room on the upside. It's not fully cooked yet. Even though this looks pretty crazy off the lows back here, we're probably not to the blow off top yet. We haven't gone exponential on the S&P. I just moved an alert there. Cool, love it. delete that. We didn't really do a vertical. That could put us up in the 6,600. If we go right up to there, we start accelerating to the upside, it's time to watch out. If we just grind it higher, it'll be more difficult to tell when we get to the real top. I think we're within a few hundred points. I'm not sure we're going above 7,000. I'll just throw that out there right now. I'm not sure we're going above 7,000 before we go below 4,000. That's a big, bold prediction. All right. I don't think we're going above 7,000 before we go below 4,000. Just throw that out there. Are we at the top yet? Probably not. We still have some room to grow. Room to go, room to grow. Let's talk about it right here. I got a lot of stuff drawn on here. Let's clean some of this up. Just make it real simple here. This pullback, there's the upside right there. We have come up just shy of it. NDX, that's NQ. NDX, we basically tagged it yesterday. Basically got there. Right in the zone. NQ, still got some room to go. And a little bit sloppy on my fib lines here. Still got a little bit to go. Now, a lot of times when we hit those targets, we'll pull back and get the extension. See what we did over here? Pulled back, got the extension, pulled back, got the extension. That's not high probability. It just, if we're going to extend it, that's kind of how we usually do it. It's like Fibonacci ping pong, you know, climbing the fib ladder, as I call it. We find resistance, we pull back. Find resistance, pull back. If we're going to go higher on the S&P, we may come back here before we can go on up. Next level up gets pretty wild. 6,400, 6,700. We may do this. Right in there. One of these is going to be the last one, probably. I don't think we're going, like I said, I don't think we're going over 7,000 before we go below 4,000. That's why I'm cautiously booking out profits. All right. Everybody clear? Now, this can last us time frame. Like this over here can last us well into Q1, Q2. That's kind of where I expect us to top out. Somewhere in Q2, maybe, possibly even into Q3. We could see some bigger swings as we get up here. It's going to be a grind into the top. And then I think we're going to set up for a bigger downside. Like I said, below 4,000 before we go above 7,000. That's kind of what I think. Kind of what I think. And we may touch 7,000, but I don't think we're going to sustain a move above 7,000 before we go visit below 4,000. The visit below 4,000 could go all the way down to 2,000 area. Maybe even a little below 2,000. That's what kind of correction we might be in for. Russell here, almost all-time high. Coming up just shy. That would be the target right up there around 2,500. Possibly even 2,600 on Russell. If we can get the extension. Oil. Back down to the bottom of that trend line. If we can get below it. Coming down here. 60. GC. Now this is interesting. I was playing with this before I got on here. And that high, this low right there, this high. We might come down and find support right in here. May need one more dip before we get the pop. Now it may come all the way to the roadmap line, but we may come up shy of the roadmap line. Again, just I've got my eye on it here. And we could bottom here. Like that could be, I mean, there's lots of could be's. This is the higher probability place to find supports, and we could come all the way down into the roadmap line. Right there. Silver, so close to tagging the roadmap line. And this could all go fast. Like we could get one more little whoop and be done with this and be ripping again. This one not near as clean with a 3-wave. Just coming right back. We're in the vicinity of the roadmap line right there. So there we go. Bitcoin. That was a heck of a move. May need to take a little resty here. This has the wind up, the 1 2 1 2 1 2 potentially in the heart of a 3. 3 of 3 could take us on up. We could be up here pretty quickly. But I did expect us to start running out of juice by the time we get to the 150, 160,000 area. So keep it in mind that I was looking at that maybe being an ABC and we get a correction down. Nope, we broke out. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. We're up to the 1618. Could extend it to the 272. Then we'll probably get even more continuation higher than that. Bitcoin does tend to extend. If you're new here, first time on the stream, welcome. This high, this low, right there. 1618. Kind of that's where we topped out last time on the Bitcoin cycle. The 1618. And let's go with the clean chart again. Back over here. I showed this off a few weeks ago. It's right here, this high, this low. Got a little sloppy. We topped out at the 1618. That was the last cycle. How about the cycle before that? Here's the current one. Here's the high, here's the low. 1618, 173. That might be where we're going to top out. Might be. We could come up shy just at the 1272. Cycle before that. High, low, 2.272. Then we pulled back. Cycle before that. Oh, that was the first cycle. That's not having. That was the Genesis block. There's the having, and there's the run. And that was the high, and here's the low. So there was the cycle before, the one in 2020. Or, yeah. There's the 2016 one. One 1618, the last one, and the current one, possible 1618. All right. That's kind of what we got cooking. That's not the all-time history. That's the problem. There we go. I was like, I'm missing some data. There we go. This high, this low. There you go, 272. That's the third one. Right there. So that was the first one. Here's the second one. 272. Here's the third one. 1618. We kind of double tapped it too. We hit it, retraced it, tried to go again, and dropped out. Now, what would be interesting, something I just thought of, what if that was the retrace back to the breakouts? And we go up for this one. That'd be interesting. A little bit of confluence in that zone right there. You can let me know what you think. You can let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below, or even let me know in Discord later. So interesting, right? Crypto's been the big attention getter. A lot of stuff that was up yesterday, kind of easing back a little bit today. Seeing Bitcoin down 800. It spiked out. I saw numbers as high as 92 on some platforms. Looks like the futures here topped out kind of at 90. 91. Put the thing on it. High was at 90,725. Ethereum came up just shy of the 618. No, yeah. That high, that low, 618. Yeah, right there. Just shy of it, 618 on this pullback from the March high. How do I keep track of everything? Because I look at these every day. So that's what we got cooking here on Ethereum. I've drawn lots of stuff, talked about lots of things. It's becoming kind of clear. If we can break above this resistance, we're probably going cruising. Sets us up to get the extension. That extension on up here. This high, this low. This is a different kind of pattern than what Bitcoin's got going on. Keep it in mind. This thing bottomed way before Bitcoin back in the summer of 22. Possibly up here around 6,200, 7,500, 13,000. That's the kind of numbers on Ethereum right now. That's why I got a chunk of that baby. Leveraged Ethereum. Coming back up, filling the gap. See if we can get the extension now. This right here, watermelon seed squeeze situation. We still have at least up to about $10 to go. More than likely. When we do one of these little things like this, and then we break out, we usually go at least the size of the beginning, which is right there. I do expect more, but let's be honest, that's the pattern right now. That's the high probability target right there. Can it fall short? Sure. Can it go keep on cruising? Sure. Just watch out. We did find some resistance at the gap fill. Makes sense. This chart, based on the Ethereum chart, Ethereum futures actually, this is leverage. Be careful. Don't necessarily, I mean, don't play options on leverage unless you really know what you're doing. That's like soaking yourself in gasoline, playing with matches in a nitroglycerin factory, dynamite factory, whatever you want to call it. I mean, just super dangerous. You can blow yourself up in your account and be left with no beer to cry in. So be careful playing with leverage. Dollar cruising on up. That's just crazy. Next resistance zone up is right up here. see what happens. It may, I mean, that was a 3-wave down. We may go cruising back up right here. Could go visit this target that we came up shy of. Did have a major resistance up here. We didn't get there. I thought we were gonna get there. Nope, retrace. Thought we were gonna get there. Nope, retrace. Maybe this time. This is still a lower high than back here. Prolonging the correction here. Eventually, we're coming back down this zone, mid-90s. NKD showing a little softness today. I was kind of hoping we'd just break out already. If we could just break out already, go cruising to 44,000. Global liquidity indicates we're gonna, everybody's gonna have a good day. But if we do that, it may overcook everything. All these may top out, and then that sets us up for the bigger correction. So a nice, slow, easy run at this would be, I guess, the preference. Q1, Q2, and we'll probably see some humps and bumps along the way as we get there. Something to keep an eye on. Oh my goodness, my gainers list didn't refresh. I'm gonna have to pause real quick and go grab the list. Holy, what the heck? Let's see. Let me see if it'll pull up. And if not, huh. Man, I even put bonus trades on there. I will be right back without the list. That's doesn't help me. I'll have to pause real quick. Let me see what's going on. I'll see you there shortly. And almost spilled my drink, and it's on the other chart. So let me see if I can refresh it, reload it, and Jeopardy music. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. All right, gainers. Shopify, look at that baby, popping up. Target zone on up here. HON, beautiful pop. Reaching targets. Shopify has further to go. I would be cautious, but when you zoom out, that was the bubble pattern. We're going to go again. Potential to go on up here, 160. Am I long? No, not really in it. Honeywell, nice pop. And this high, this low. 246 right there. SE, C limited. Check this out. We've got large resistance getting higher. Came up shy of the, retracing the entire bubble move here. And that 618 is all the way up there at 240. Wild. Live Nation. That one's going on the extension, looks like. Despite the antitrust, whatever. All a ruse. Going to cruising, 136, 144. Upside targets. CMT. Remember, if I say anything that's helpful, beneficial, give me a thumbs up. CMT at resistance. Watch for this to hold and turn down. Be very cautious. If we can get above the prior high here and the 618, could go up to 150, but it's a stretch at the moment. Home Depot, popping a little bit. Maybe going for the extension, 447. Right there, Yang. Did the reverse split. This is just a dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. If China gets a large pullback, this may respond, but let's be honest, this is likely to keep going on down. 0. Probably keep reverse splitting as we go on. AXSM. Nice little pop. 106 on the upside. This is biotech. I tend to stay away from biotech. TSN, Tyson Foods. There's the roadmap bounce. That high, that low. Upside 67.69. SDGR. So what I did, I went to the pre-market, pulled everything moving $2 or more up and $2 or more down, put it on the list, and I'm looking for opportunities here. Schrodinger, if you don't pull up the chart, is it even moving? That's a joke. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, Google Schrodinger's cat. And that's the bubble pattern on top of a bubble pattern. I wouldn't really mess with it. Well, it's not for me. Globe. Opportunity for this to be a nested setup here. Potential to go back up to 60. Not really liking the fact that that kind of did the bubble pattern and went lower low, and above that 60 area is where it kicks off the bigger up to 92, but it could just rally up to here and come back lower low. CCLDO, what a ticker. Cumulative, redeemable, perpetual. Oh, man, how many words can you put that are like cumulative, redeemable, perpetual, preferred stock? Wow, what a mouthful of bubblegum. And looks like the redeemable, whatever, quit paying dividends back here. Interesting. Care Cloud. I wonder what that's Series B. Let's see. This is the actual stock chart for that. That looks so nasty. Bubble pattern. If you're new here, you've never seen the bubble pattern before, check this out. Right here. You can Google it. Psychology of a market cycle. I call it the bubble pattern. And we kind of do this. Go exponential. That's why I talk about that. Then we get this initial pullback, some choppiness, and then a large pullback. And we usually come all the way back down, if not make a lower low. Sometimes it's a higher low. And then we do something else. What else? I don't know. All right. We have to wait for it to tell us. But right now, I don't like catching these bubble patterns. Just don't like it at all. I mean, if you can catch it, the whole goal is to catch it here. Or even here. That's what a lot of my patterns are trying to catch that. And then you got to have the smarts to get out up here, like we're trying to do on Bitcoin. All right, right now we're probably in Bitcoin somewhere in here. We still have this to go, is what I think. Now, some stuff like Tesla, little less clear. We may be nearing a top for now and experience a pullback. And funny enough, that these little things like this can even be Elliott wave moves, and we get the correction. That's why sometimes we can hold the higher low, like this one over here. When we pull this up, like this baby, right? The big up, consolidation, right back down, and we're working on finding the low here and getting the next move. The next move could take us incredibly higher. If we hold the higher low here, right where we are, I know I got lots of stuff drawn on here on this scale, but we hold the low in here, higher than this one, higher than this one. Set us up for the breakout. Go much higher than that. 600 seems like a stretch, but not really when you zoom it out. All right. That right there, you could say it was a Head and Shoulders. Now, on the grand scheme of things, that was a large down compared to where we are now. That, you know, just everybody's talking about, you know, Boeing being so crappy, but that wasn't really that large a down. Still do expect we got the lower low, but we might flush it one more time down to the 140 area. Just keep it in mind. Lowe's company. Right there, topping out, potentially bounced off the 1272, back to the breakouts. Next move up, 318. MVMI. That looks like it's going to break down. NVDU, leveraged NVIDIA. Now, interesting, NVIDIA hitting its upside targets, extending higher. That cooking at that 148 area. We finally got there. Took a little while. I warned you when we broke above the downtrend of highs here that this was the target. If you grabbed it, good on you. I decided to skip it. Just wasn't feeling super confident in that extension of something that's just ridiculous. But churn here a little bit. Next extension, 154. Maybe experience a pullback and go for 171. Those are the upsides. Now, when you zoom it out and look, this is starting to look very much like the bubble pattern. Eventually, we're probably going to do a 60, 70% retrace. Eventually. Is it from here? I don't know. There's 50% right there. Back down to 70, 60%. Back down to 50, 40. Be careful. I don't like to sit and wait for that sort of stuff. You know, SMCI, I got that one exactly right. Like I said, if that one hits 1200, which pre-split it did, we're coming back down into the 200 area where this consolidation was. What do you got there? We may even come back to the 10 area, which was 100 pre-split. Be careful. I don't think they should have split this, baby. On Simi. That may go for an extension. It's unclear here. Not as keen on this path. 57 looks like a good upside resistance. This, doing it that way doesn't really mean anything because this was the lowest low on the chart. We don't have the prior history, so this, doing that fib line doesn't really mean anything. Right now, resistance at that 57. If we just stop where we are and turn down, could come down here. ETHD. Yeah, psychology chart is the SMCI chart. Yeah, that's, I mean, we'll see it again. I mean, we see it all the time. So ETHD, ultra short Ethereum as this launches off. This is, as Ethereum launches off, this is going to plummet into the abyss towards zero. Cold, ultra short natural gas. This was popping, now it's dropping. There's Trump working on a deal for liquid natural gas to replace Russian natural gas or something like that. I don't know. In Europe, potential for this to keep rocking and rolling. 240 next upside on that one. BTCT. This is just a dumpster fire of a chart. Reverse split. Nasty, nasty chart. Don't mess with it. Target. If we can break above this high we had from back here in August, 188 to possibly 195 on the upside there. And that could kick off, since we did a measured bounce, it would not surprise me if we saw a larger move take hold and we saw this rock and roll on up here, possibly 233. Maybe even get a new high, because look, that's like the bubble pattern kind of. That's it. Even happens on stuff like Target. Consolidate, break down, consolidate again, break on down. Held the higher low though. That can set us up to go again. Right, the bubble pattern doesn't have to be detrimental. But that was it. Look at Well, that was all because of COVID. Not really. Look where it started. No, I mean, we know nothing about COVID back in 2017, 2019. That's where this exponential move started. Actually, there was the low that kicked it off back here. Went right on through the 272, cruising on higher. These patterns are in the charts. They're on all different time frames. All right. You know how to find them. You know what to watch. You got the wherewithal and the physical ability to stay solvent. Hold on to the trade. You can make out like a bandit. Now this one, it's got a little while to cook on this time, but eventually this one could be set up to break out. Now, stuff that was pulling back, $2 more. Coinbase, that was, of course, getting the correction. Looks like Bitcoin may be recovering a little bit. Yep, back to positive. This can take us on higher. If we can break out through this resistance zone, my upside target is up here. JT, where are you getting off of your Conal, C-O-N-L? Probably up here. I don't know if I can hold on for up here. Probably in here. 500 on coin. Con-L will probably rock and roll. 97, 106, maybe even much higher. Coin. Let's just do some numbers really quickly, right? Now, Conal is a daily 2x leverage. So from here up to that 500 level, we're talking about 54%. 54%. So 2x leverage, CONL. 2x leverage. What would that look like? 54% times 2, 108%. So this one could be somewhere in this zone, 120, 130. Now, it may underperform. It may not get to that kind of level. It may not get the 2x. Maintaining leverage is hard to do. That'd be the 130 area. Funny enough, it's kind of like, surprise. All these things kind of line up. All right, moving back up to MPWR. Monolithic power, flushing on down. If we can break back above the roadmap line, this could set it up for a move to 1,000. App, that looks like she's going to retrace at some point here. 4, just hanging in this channel. Likely to churn back to the bottom of the channel. MSTR. Yeah, nice job, Gaten. This one could go to 1,000 again. All right, this is acting like leverage Bitcoin. MSTX, that's a way to play. MSTU, that's a way to play. MSTX, lower price right now than MSTU. I mean, MSTX, lower price than MSTU. I said that right. Had you bought this back here where I was talking about it, you'd be doing pretty good right now. MSTR, probably going to rock and roll higher. These are some of the things that some of the people, playing options on these, super dangerous. Don't do that unless you really know what you're doing, all right? And you can really afford to lose that money. So be careful. FLUT, probably topping out. We might get that further 258, but we might come back to the roadmap line. That's unclear. I'm a best of the best type of trader, so stuff that's unclear, I'm not really trying to put my money at risk. Tesla, we might get a pullback here. Could come back to retest some of these fib lines back here. 500 still the upside, but how long? This is why I'm in shares. This could take a while before we can get the pop. Could take a while. DXYZ, that's just another bubble. I Set it on the pop here, set it on the pop here, set it on the pop again here today, that we're probably coming back down to the bottom. Probably coming back down. Did it over here. Doing it again. We tend to make smaller ones each time. Race, and it's not lost on me that Mara kind of looks that way. A lot of crypto miners kind of look that way. So we may come up shy of targets on a lot of the crypto miners. I'll kind of be bummed out, but Race has done a 3-wave retrace into the roadmap line. Tagged it right in the top there. What might we do from here? Might extend it on up to those higher targets. Got to break back above the gap down to extend it to 506, 514, possibly 535. Upstart. Tried to break out, got slammed back down. We may see a retrace back to the roadmap line. MSTU, as I warned, be careful. These can go higher. It's leverage. Nothing's going to be more volatile than this stuff right here. TGLS. Upside, up here. May get a retrace to the roadmap line. I am long-term bullish this. I got in November 6th, 2023. I bought a few thousand shares right back here. Look at that right there. Look at these prices. 30. I'm up more than 100% on shares basically in a year. Where's the target? Right up there. Looking for 90 at the. Probably, I might step off at 90. That's a 3x. You know, took my money and 3x'd it. Not bad. I expected this to take longer, but and if it goes up to 1,000, like I won't be sad. I mean 3x my money on something in a year. I mean, geez, sorry, it only went up 3x. There was no options, no theta decay. Could have played it with options, but there you go. It's just wait and see. FUTU. Looks like the bubble pattern, that's the consolidation. We may come back to the roadmap line or even all the way back down. Connell, like I said, we already talked about that. Potential targets up here. KRUS. That looks like it wants to come back to the roadmap line. MSTX was retracing. Now we're expanding. If MSTR goes to MSTR, if this goes to 1,000, think about this a minute. If this thing did the insane thing and goes up to 1,000, it'd be at 300%. So we're talking about something like MSTX going up 600%. That thing going to 600. That would be just absolute stupid. Probably won't work, but what if it does? Anyway, that's how you put yourself in the right place. SNDX, just sideways chop, no opportunity. SWTX, nothing. Biotech, nothing. PTIR, that's 2x leverage on Palantir, PLTR. Let's check the chart. Upside target, 68. Next one. Talking about 12.5% upside, so 25% on PTIR. 25% upside from here. That one may top out around 100, 108, 105, 108, right there. Carvana. It's coming up into some resistance from the big move. This was a big bubble pattern. You see it right there. Consolidate, back down to the bottom. We sit at the 618. This is a key area. Like if we can maintain this, break on up here, 430. If we turn down here, we can come all the way back to the bottom. This thing was almost at 0 when it started. This could be another bubble pattern. We're kind of going exponential here. We can come right back down. Be careful. Yeah. Actually did start making a little money too, amazingly. It's been a dumpster fire of losing money for a long time, and then all of a sudden we're turning this ship around. Figured out how to make some money. Lost some money. Make some money. Make some money. Make some money. They can keep making money. This thing can break out of this funk. Possibly going up to 430. For a long time, I said this was a dumpster fire of a company. Not necessarily a dumpster fire of a chart, but dumpster fire of a company, because they lost money like crazy. I mean, look at that. Lost $7 a share. Are you kidding me? Finally starting to turn it around, though. SMLR. That was a bubble pattern. Right back down at the bottom. Medical specialty stuff. It's on the biotech vein. Maybe limited upside 63. ETU. It's a T-Rex, 2X, Ethereum, daily ETF. Here's another way to play. ETHU isn't your bag. Here's ETU right there. PDD. Oh, we filled the gap. This one may fail. I'd be very cautious here at this point. I never bought my position because we never broke back above. I was looking for this to break back above the roadmap line. Couldn't do it. I never bought a position looking for the upside. I still think 175, but we're going to have to turn it. Break back above the roadmap line to do it right there. MU, just churning on the roadmap line. That looks almost like the PDD chart right there. Just churning. If we can break back above the 130 area, this could kick off a much larger measured bounce target, potentially up here in the 200, maybe even ridiculously higher than that. PGY, still got a few friends with me here. Remember, 5 p.m. today, 30 minutes of awesome. If you got to take off, come back and see me. And it's 5 p.m. Eastern. PGY looks like it's likely to go on down. INOD. Wow, that's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. How high does it pop before it comes back to Earth? I don't know. We'll see. LEU. That looks like it wants to come back down. EETH. Just churning a little bit. Pro shares Ethereum. Still got a ways to go to all-time high back here. TEM. Popping up. Watch out for that to top out and get a bigger retrace. Again. Bouncing off the roadmap line. I told you we would come back to the roadmap line. There we are. Baba, probably come back to the roadmap line. ELF. That might be a measured bounce. I'm actually going to set an alert right there. I might pick up a few shares just to see, because this bubble pattern you're looking, but that may have been the retrace. That may have been it. That was 60, we were retraced 61% of the move up. That was a long way down. The next move up. Break back above the roadmap line, break back above the 618 here. 240 upside target up here. Pretty nice upside. You hate ELF. It's a wicked chart. I ran out of time and I haven't been back into it yet. I've just been waiting for the perfect opportunity. Nail. Not getting off the lows here. Reddit. It owes me some money. ELF owes me some money, but that's where I ran out of time. Same ballpark. I missed out on this because I ran out of time. I didn't buy long enough time when I got into a position back here. I only bought out to here. Ran out of time, and then it did that. And so this time, I'll probably just go at it with shares. Reddit, watch for that to top out. That went much faster than to this area than I anticipated. We didn't get the pullback in here. Well, we did get a little baby pullback, but that extension, just absolutely ridiculous. Watch out for a bigger correction on this thing. C-Web, touching the roadmap line. Look at that. Anybody that doubted me saying that all these were coming back to the roadmap line, there they are. Baidu, probably going lower low. ALB, sitting at the roadmap line. If we can maintain it, we could turn the fortunes around, potentially confirm a bottom, but I'm not convinced yet. VRT, Veritiv Holdings. Yeah, 138, I guess, upside. But back to the roadmap line would be expected. LABU, 3X on biotech, stalling out at those prior highs. Upside is 192, downside is 20. Large potential there for failure. NVO, and let's just zoom out, right? Zoom out. Which would you give odds to? That we're going higher or that we might go lower? This looks like we might be heading lower. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Reverse splits are why this was so high in the past. It was never at $3,000 a share. Probably going to fail, not blast out. NVO, that's what I don't play biotech. It's just so dangerous. And money's expensive right now. Like biotech's a game where cheap money perpetuates biotech. Expensive money, it's hard to play that game where you just lose tons of money. NVO, resistance, downside, DPST. This is getting wild. This one had a large drop. We're going to have to recover that. This is leveraged, and check it out. Reverse split, regular split, reverse split. Tend to reverse split it, and be careful. That sets it up for a long-term lower. Maintaining the leverage is difficult to do. In the short term, we may outperform, but in the long term, we're probably going towards zero. SPHR, Sphere Entertainment, back to the roadmap line. Hunting for a bottom and a confirmation of a reversal, but this is just long-term, just sideways, choppy, hot, nasty action here. I wouldn't really expect anything. That's not a trending chart, so it's not one I would trade. ETHT. Pro share, this is Ultra, which if you're new, the word Ultra means leveraged. Ether is Ethereum, ETF. So this is like ETHU or ETU that we looked at earlier. Potential for this to pop, if it can pop. DST, potential for that to top out around 155 and come all the way back down to the roadmap line. Be careful. Crux, almost to the target zone. Hate to break it to you, Rungamer. Affirm, almost to the upside target. CWAN, probably going to come back. Square. Oh, look at that, man. It was on the droppers list. Now it's on the poppers list. Breakout to 92, upside target. Make a few bucks. Big risk, but nice. That's been consolidating for a long freaking time. And all of a sudden getting sparky. If we can break out above some of these highs back here, that could change the fortunes for Square pretty quickly. This wasn't really participating in any kind of the Trump rally, and this is, they renamed their name to Block, like blockchain, and weren't really getting any crypto bump either until the last couple of days. All right, bonus trade for the day, air. And I did bring a chart. Pull it up. Copy and paste it over here. Make it bigger. So the target is 73, the stop below 57, $5.82 upside. 90% of the time, we have won over 30 trades since 1972. So statistically significant, 46 trading days on average, which is longer than calendar days. I mean, calendar days is longer than trading days. 90% win rate, 3.6 profit factor. This is a pretty spicy one right here. So what we've got here, we've got the high right there. That one was the one that it picked up. This is the low. This is the move inside the bigger move. So there is a bigger upside potential, but that 73.15 area will be the target right in here. Looking for that to happen. And 46 trading days. We use the tool over here, pull it out. Basically 3 months or 2.5 months, 3 months at the minimum for options. There you go. About a 7% upside. Now there is a bigger churn target in here. Potentially kicks us off to 79, which could be a bigger upside target if you went with shares. So there you go. That's a relatively high probability, and 90% of the time. That's hard to find stuff higher than that. Not too shabby. You can see this one does churn a lot. It does pop up and down quite a bit, quite often. So be careful out there. You could lose money. Let me know if you take it and make money. All right. Throw an alert right there. If I edit it, I say the bonus trade target right there. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. The bias for the day. For those of you still here, if you want to know my bias for the day, very cautious. Like after that big update yesterday and a lot of crypto and stuff, we may experience a pullback. NASDAQ, we still need to hit that high. Still got a little upside room left. So if we hit that, watch out. We did hit it yesterday on NASDAQ, and I'm cautious here. Can we get the extension on a little higher to get in queue lined up? I don't know. We may be in for some churn here. We do have the CPI coming up tomorrow, the PPI the day after, and the retail sales on Friday. So be careful out there. I'll be back 5 p.m. Eastern, 30 minutes of awesome right here on YouTube.